renowned for having the passion and enthusiasm in the line. What are we going to see on Saturday from you?
Well, I've been testing the suit out all today. Had it on the bedroom and leaping about in it, and it seems to be quite comfortable. It looks like it could handle a loony for the one day.
And what is Leslie saying about the suit? Is she quite happy with it?
She's not seen it yet. She's not seen the suit yet. But I'm glad I've got a new suit, because that 1985 suit is now wearing a bit thin.
Do you enjoy management?
No.
Not the slightest.
Honestly.
Why?
Wrong. Well, the only reason I'm a manager is because if you're a manager, you have full control of the coaching. That's what I like doing, is coaching. I like to see people getting better. And that's the only reason I'm the manager, because if you're not the manager, you're at the beck and call of the manager to say, well, we want to coach this way today, and you might not believe. Now, if you don't believe, it's very, very hard to put over a point that you don't believe in.
But you live and breathe football, don't you?
No, I don't.
You've always have done.
No. I like competing, and there's a difference between I love the game. There's a difference between obsessed with the game. Now, obsessive people I don't like, no matter what they're obsessed about, or ambitious people, because they want to go somewhere, ambitious people, and on their way there they want to knock people out the way so they can get there. I'm not like that. I love what I'm doing.
You're ambitious. Don't tell me you're not ambitious.
No. I am. When I played at Dundee, I just wanted to play football and see how good I could get. I ended up at Aberdeen. I tried to do my best there. I ended up at Manchester United. I tried my best there, but I was out, and I went to Leeds. Try my best. I'll try my best, and then wherever I end up, it's fine.
But you've had your ups and you've had your downs, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's not fair football, because when you're up, you just kind of, that's a level, you get a wee flicker of kind of glowy satisfaction. When you're down, you go, what are you doing here? It's not fair. It's really not fair.
But the down part for you must have been Coventry. Because initially you started off, it was great, you had a great time. But people will remember the bad times.
Of course they will. It's like anything in life. People remember negative things. I think I was there for nearly 7 years as a coach, an assistant manager and a manager. And on the 5th year as a manager, it went badly wrong. So the moral behind that is sack me after 4 years, you'll be okay.
And how long have you been here for? How long have you got left?
I've got another 2.5 then, before you get rid of me.
So we go to the big game, the cup final. How are you going to approach it?
I watched Manchester United playing Arsenal at Highbury. And Man United definitely adjusted their game to make sure they weren't going to get beat with Arsenal that night, and they weren't going to let Arsenal get early goals against them. And if Man United have to adjust their game to play against Arsenal, then we have to do something. You know, we have to. We have a plan. What our plan cannot be is that, look, it's one of these days, lads, go out and enjoy ourselves a cup final. No. We'll play them like that. They attack us, they'll beat us, no problem. Because they had 13 shots at goals last week against us and scored 6. We had 12 and scored 1.
But they're a team that will always give you a chance. They will give you a chance.
We have scored in the last 3 games against them. That says that there's a possibility of us getting another chance in the cup final. So we feel there's something will come along somewhere along the line.
The 6-1 game goes for nothing. I mean, if you
look, that was a nightmare.
Obviously, your players were hurt by that.
Yeah, well, I'm shocked by that at one point. You've never been there. When you're 3-0 down, you think, what's going on here after 20 minutes? And it was a shame because I asked the pair sub to get warmed up. It was his debut. You should get yourself warmed up, son. You're going on at 3-0. And the time he'd done his warm up and got his gear off, it was 5. Well, that's like, it's 5 now, son. On you go. You need to be playing even better than I asked you to do just a couple of minutes ago.
Go and change the
see that
game.
Perez guy? Could you try and stop him run about like a maniac there? Yeah.
So, is that the philosophy? Stop them from playing?
Well, I think you've got to stop everybody from playing, no matter who you're playing against. But I do believe it's crazy that I do believe we can win it.
So it's no good you going there, enjoying the day and getting beaten.
Oh, it's a nonsense.
It's a complete waste of time.
Nonsense. You can't enjoy anything if you've not competed to it. And the game's not been a competition. If the game's been a competition and you've done your best, and you can walk off the pitch with no regrets after, I should have done this, I should have done that, then that's all right. I think if you walk off a football pitch and go, I should have done this and I should have done that, then you have to live with regrets, and it's a horrible thing.
What do you think you'll be like at 3 o'clock on Saturday?
I'm looking very smart. I've got a lovely suit.
Nice suit, yeah.
Lovely suit.
Again, emotional.
You're trying to get this emotional thing from me.
I'm trying to get into your head.
You know what I'm like? You know what I'm like?
It's very difficult to get into your head.
Please do not try and do it, because it's not very funny in there.
What will you be like at 3 o'clock? Will you be a proud man?
Very proud, because all my family's got to be there. Every one of them. And I think it's the first time I've had the whole collection together, from father to grandson. So I'll be very proud and hope that they're enjoying the cup final, enjoying that wee bit of success we'll have for that day.
He was getting all emotional there.
He was, and I like the philosophy. You know, it's the first is first and second's nowhere. He ain't interested in coming here on a nice day. He's here to win, and that's what you've
Well, you don't have a nice day unless you do win.
Well, yeah, but people keep on saying, well, underdogs, at least they've got to the final, enjoy the day. Yeah. That doesn't happen. Yeah. If you want to be a winner, then you've got to go on the pitch and do it, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Mark, you played with him.
Well, he's very passionate, man. I think it might have something to do with the red hair he's got. But he's a football person. He loves the game. That came across in the interview there. And I think he has to be given credit for the job he's done. I think a few people possibly questioned his appointments initially, surprisingly so. I think he had a difficult time at Coventry, and then he got the job at Southampton. But to be fair to the guy, he's done a wonderful job.
Yes, and the way he was playing football is the way his team is playing football now. Best game I've probably seen this season was the third round against Tottenham, where they 4-0, and they were just putting pressure on Tottenham and playing really well when they had the ball. Never get Tottenham any chance to play, and you know that's the way he played. It's
what they'll need to do today.
I think they've got to reach that level of performance they showed against.
I don't think they can play any other way.
So we have a look what team he's picked. Baird will play. It's a bold move. He's only ever played once.
It is a bold move, because if you ain't got Perez coming down that side, you've got Henry. You know, it's a sort of formidable trio. But what it's imperative Southampton play a high-tempo game, get in after them, stifle them, don't allow them to settle. And then hopefully, when they get a chance, because Arsenal will always give you a chance, you've got James Beattie, who's had a brilliant season and scored lots and lots of goals. Hopefully, a chance will come to him and he'll take it.
I think the fact as well that Chris Marston and Anthony Niemi is back today is important, and that leaves Southampton with more than a chance to win this game. They have been missing from the team, and it's been obvious that they have been missing. But they've been instrumental in the season they've had.
That'll probably be an unfamiliar face to most viewers. That is indeed Chris Baird. Mark, have you seen him play?
No,
he's not Welsh, is he?
No, I'll be checking it out after this.
He could be.
No, I've not heard a great deal about the kid, but it's a massive day for him, and a lot could depend on how he reacts to the occasion. You would hope that it's a case of sink or swim. You hope he swims, but it's a big day for him.
That one appearance, by the way, I don't know whether you know this was against you last week.
I have to say that I was so focused on what we were doing that day that I didn't really notice him.
His goal scoring record's not very good, is it?
That's unbelievable.
Like mine.
I suppose the other slight gamble, is Chris Marsden.
Well, I think he's so important to the side and such a major influence in the middle of the park. And
I don't think it's a gamble. If he lasts for 15 minutes, they've had 15 minutes with him. He is instrumental to their team, and you always put him in. It's the last game of the season. He's got 2 months after this to recover. But if he can have a medium game for his standards, he's going to put something towards their team.
The great thing about Southampton, as we saw against Tottenham in the third round, is they do play as a team. You know, very much for each other. A great team spirit, which you'd expect from a STRACHAN'S side. They've got a great goalkeeper. I think Niemi has been a fantastic goalkeeper this season.
I think he's had an outstanding
season.
I think he's surprised a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people thought that he was going to come to the Premiership and make such an impact, but he has. But you have to say they've got 2 good goalkeepers, because Paul Jones has come in and played really well. But
Paul's been really unlucky. He's played absolutely superb for me at international.
It's not great for you that he's not in the side, is it?
No, certainly not. But
he's the kind of goalkeeper he's very good at not playing for a long time and then playing, and he puts up a top-class performance.
To be fair, you can't really argue with the decision, but the lad near me in because he's been absolutely superb this year.
But if he's fit, he's a first-choice goalkeeper.
I think so.
And he should be playing if he's fit.
Yeah,
if there's any doubt.
Well, Gordon Strachan's not bothered about Wales, is he?
Not many people.
No, but he's shown that before when
they are now.
The other goalkeeper and played magnificently, and Name was fit. He brought him straight back in. You know.
Right, what about the Arsenal side? A few more probably well-known names in that one.
Well,
plenty of threat.
Absolutely fantastic quality. I mean, right throughout the side. You know, you look at the front two, Bergkamp and Henry, just, I mean, as good as it gets anyway. Perez on the left-hand side, Lundberg on the right. The one big doubt is defensively. People have always said you're better having a great defence and a moderate attack rather than another way about. If there is a criticism of Arsenal, it is they always give the opposition a chance. And I mean, I think when you're talking about the great sides of the last 30 years, and we've played in a lot of them. You haven't played in any of them, but we've played in a lot of them.
Everton were a great side, don't worry about that.
In all honesty, that when you're playing really well and you're controlling the match, then the great teams of the last 30 years have either finished you off or get 1-0 in front and then sharp shots all over. This Arsenal side, when they get in front, they can't seem to finish off, and they get the bad word complacent. It seems to get a bit easy for them.
We've been saying this for every time we've seen Arsenal in the FA Cup this season. That it's like it becomes nearly too easy for them, and then they stop playing the game they should play and start to maybe showboat a little bit, and they let the other team in. And once the other team gets a sniff, you know, they've come back in the games.
I think it'd be interesting to see how they react to the fact that they did lose the championship. I know that myself and Peter were in a similar situation in '95, where in the space of a week we lost the double. And I know from my own point of view, having lost the league championship, it was very, very difficult to focus for the FA Cup final.
Added pressure and...
it was just maybe one game too many at the end of the season. I think if you focus so much on the league and then you don't actually get what you want from the season, then it's very difficult to raise
if you get into the last part of the season and as Arsenal has they feel they've lost the league, but they've lost a little bit of momentum, that's probably the reason, then it's very difficult to pick that momentum up again and get it going for one more game. You have the disappointment. Obviously they lost it 3 games, in that case 3 games before.
Big job.
It can be a game too far sometimes, but
big job then for the manager. We've already heard about him. Now let's hear from him. The Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger has been talking to Ian Payne.
Everything you touch turns to gold. Do you feel that way in the Cup?
Well, I played a few Cup finals, yes, in my career, so I maybe because I love the competition, so because I get the teams concentrated on the right occasion, I don't know. And as well because I have good teams and good players and who want to be successful, so it's very focused every time on doing well. We are now, I think, 4 times in the final and 1 time in the semi-final. So it worked quite well. Let's continue.
Are you a fan of tradition?
Yes.
Why?
I respect tradition because I think it carries values always that who are respectable, and I think a life without values has no real meaning. And as well, I feel I got a lot of fun for football, and so I always have a great respect for people who have created this game, and part of creation of this game is, of course, the FA Cup final.
So the Cup for you is sacrosanct. Don't change it. Leave it.
Leave it. Leave it like it is, because on the day of a Cup final you have a stadium split in 2 with 2 teams, and it is just such a special atmosphere. And but the time that people think, okay, let's take time to enjoy that special occasion is great.
At the end of last season, when you won the title, you said you felt there'd been a shift in the balance of power. How do you feel about that now?
I still think like that, because I felt that the 2 seasons before we finished runners-up, but there was no real competition. They were in front and the championship was won in January or February. We won it in the end last season, and we lost it in the end this season, but there was a real fight for it, and we are in the cup final. We knocked Man United out, so I feel we are there to compete with them, and we are as good as Man United, and that's why I felt that there was a shift of power, and that Man United was not dominant anymore in English football like they were for 2 or 3 years before, and I still feel like that today.
If you don't win the cup, has the season been a major disappointment to you or not?
Well, I would say not winning a trophy would be a major disappointment, yes, but the season has not been a disappointment because I feel that there are two things really different, is that the way you live on daily basis and what you get at the end of the season. And I must say I was lucky to experience a season like that with my team, because on daily basis we had good spirit, good work ethic. We shared the game we want to play on daily basis on the training ground, of course. We did all that to get something at the end of it. And but it's very difficult to say you had a very bad year if on daily basis you were happy and in the end you're unhappy. But overall it would be a disappointment, yes.
Finally, how long would you like to stay at Arsenal for? Any idea?
I don't know. You know, in this job you want to be successful, and as long as you're successful, you want to do it. Once you're not successful anymore, you think that somebody else can do it.
Do you think you'll be a manager as long as Bobby Robson?
I don't know. First, you need to be lucky enough to have the health, and secondly, for a while, I imagined that it was completely crazy. But the older I get, the less I think it is crazy.
Fans are now entrenched inside the stadium. It's pretty full. There's still a few people lingering around outside. And John Motson's already bursting into commentary, but we don't want to hear from you yet, John. But colourful scenes.
Well, it's wonderful to see so much colour and the fans enjoying themselves, and it just sets up for a great final. It really does. This is a great time for the fans. Just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy themselves, and let the battle begin.
He's going to be influential today.
Well, I don't think there's a player in the last 30 years. Again, we've played with I played with Dalglish, the boys have played with Cantona. I don't think there's been a player that's been as exciting as Thierry Henry. I really don't. I think that into his feet, over the top, he just can do things that, you know, you cannot believe.
That's a Mark Hughes type goal there, a little volley.
Like the one I scored in the charity match last night, actually. There wasn't that
very
many
similar
people there, unfortunately. You have to say that Arsenal, OK, they weren't able to get the title, but some of the quality of their football this year has been some of the best that's been produced in recent times.
What do you make of Henry, Mark? I mean,
he's a little bit quicker than I was.
No.
He's got great ability. I mean, he's one of those players that get people out of their seats, and it doesn't matter which side you support. Sometimes you just applaud the skill that he's got.
Mark, Gary's always cited the fact that his real weakness is he don't score goals.
I didn't say that.
You were there. Is that correct?
I didn't say that. I said...
No, we've got it on tape. We've got it on tape. He said his real weakness is he don't score goals.
No, I didn't. We always end on those things.
He's a very, very difficult striker to read. He's got the pace, and once he comes running with that kind of pace towards you, normally as a goalkeeper you will try to
make an effort to save it.
Well, that's one thing. Second thing you do is try to make him do what you want him to do. But when he comes at pace like that, it's the other way around. He's just a very, very good striker.
If you have one criticism, it wouldn't be that he doesn't score goals. It's what we're talking about before. When it gets easy, he's instrumental in that complacency, because it gets so easy for him.
So that was his weakness?
Well, no, because it spreads right throughout the team. I mean, once you get complacent in your side, it spreads like wildfire, and you can never get it back.
I think it's a very, very good point, that.
And actually, Strachan said that to me in the game the other week there, that, you know, when he gets the ball at his feet and his right hand comes out or his left hand comes out like that, and he's sort of Strachan
How does he do that?
Right hand, left hand. Strachan said, right, you'll see if he does that today, I'll bet you they go right through the back of him.
Yeah, OK. Mark, Southampton got a decent striker. You played with him when you were at Southampton, James.
Yeah, I did,
Beattie.
James.
He's come on a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I signed actually the same day as James, and he's a colourful character. He's great in the dressing room. He's loud, he's brash, but the lad can play it. He's got great strengths. Incredible leap.
Loud, he's brash. It's cocky because sometimes that's a good attribute for a player.
Yeah, but it's not in a nasty way. It's great for the dressing room. I mean, he's the life and soul of the dressing room, which is probably a better way to describe it.
We played them last week, and you would have thought that the whole team would sort of sit back and not getting injured for the final. He's the guy. He was given 110% in that game, which was without a big sort of significance for Southampton. But I tell you what, he's a threat.
And he stands comparison with the best. I mean, this is this season. He's only
You've got to remember, he's playing on a side that won't create as many chances as Arsenal. But then Henry ain't a poacher, is he? As you've...
The thing about Beattie as well, he scored all kinds of goals.
Oh, he's brilliant, yeah.
He scored from 30 yards, he scored them from inside the 6-yard box, he scored on headers, he scored goals from a broad range. Whereas some of other strikers who score a lot of goals this season score certain type of goals from certain type of chances. I mean, he's got a lot.
I tell you what, let's hear from Southampton's strike force. They've had a visit from Mark Bright. Been a great season personally.
What do you put it down to?
I think just hard work and gaining experience and working hard and training every day, and I think a lot of it's got to go to the credit the lads, with the chances they provided for me, and I've stuck quite a few of them away, so the goal return's been quite good as well.
Do you think you've got more belief in yourself now?
I've always had a lot of self-belief, but as a striker, the goals breeds the confidence and the self-belief. And luckily enough, after the first run of games, the goals kept coming consistently. So, that wasn't a problem. A lot of talented individuals in our dressing room, a lot of underrated players, and as a team...
Do you think they are underrated though, having done what they've done this year?
I think by some people they are, yeah. I know we've proved a lot of people wrong, and that's due to the dressing room and the coaching staff and everybody. As a team, I think we are better than Arsenal. Maybe we've got a better team spirit than them.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I would say so. I don't know what Arsenal dressing room's like, but I'd say we've got a better changing room than them.
I like playing with James. I think we've got a decent run together and tried to work up a good partnership. It does take time, and I think the last couple of games we've done really well together. And he's been on fire as beats.
Brett's been magnificent all season. His work rate for the side, the space he creates for myself and other people is quite tremendous. And it was just deserves what he got in the semi-final, and I was so pleased for him when he scored.
I think it's every boy's dream. They grow up, tend to score a win in the final and things like that, and I've been no different.
Yours is a fairy tale, really, isn't it? Accrington Stanley to the Millennium Stadium in 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something, to be honest, I look back on at the moment. I think you're always learning in football, and definitely I am. Every game it's a new experience, and you go to the big grounds now, and sometimes I think, what am I doing here? Like Old Trafford, and 67,000. I think, what am I doing here? Like, but yeah, I mean, it is a big step up, and it is. But I'm enjoying it, and it's the reason I came here.
How important has the gaffer been this year?
He's been very important, obviously. You know what he's.
Has he been important for you individually? Yeah. When I had my, my off-season problems at the start of the season, he was 100% behind me, and he backed me and took me to one side and said, I want the, the proper James Beattie to come back into my side, and hopefully, since he said them words to me, I've been there, and it helped me a tremendous amount. He's when the work needs to be done, you're serious because you've got that that respect for him.